Hello. Am I on? Okay. I want to talk about painting today as a form of therapy. I watched with my tech. I watched YouTube of Jordan Peterson's tragic experience with his daughter. It's just heartbreaking, the suffering, okay, that a human being can inflict on himself. It's nothing to be scornful about. I feel terrible for the poor guy. I mean, he suffered, as you said, he would have been much better off dead. That's how he views it now, and he'd be the first to admit he inflicted all this on himself. All right, now, if I had known him, 30 years ago, if we'd been friends, I would have introduced him to painting. Perhaps the painting would have allowed him another escape, another therapy that would have prevented his self-destruction, or near self-destruction, the infliction of horrible suffering on himself. I mean, I didn't know these things. People went through these things. I probably told you. I want you to go back and listen to all my YouTubes because they're educational, and you can't get the education that I'm giving you here, at Oxford, or Yale, Harvard, anywhere else. And it's a valuable education because I'm doing something that college professors cannot do. They cannot serve it blood raw. Okay, they cannot be politically incorrect. You saw what happened with Jordan Peterson when he opposed restrictions on freedom of speech, so they're going to make it a crime. If he didn't call somebody by the pronoun the person wanted. So it's a jungle out there. All I can say. All right, so I had an aunt who was a vocational therapist. So there's a whole field of therapy that involves teaching people to do something as an outlet. See, and a psychologist told me something that was really fascinating that I can verify from my own experience. He said that when you are painting, you are in the same state as you're in when you're meditating. Okay, well. That should be all you need to know. But see, you're not productive. You're not creating things when you're meditating. I got tremendous solace from painting for decades, and I, from the age of 50 now, well, that's 20-something years. I'll tell you about how I got to painting. My mother took me as a child to the Cleveland Museum of Fine Art, and I took lessons as a child. We looked at the great paintings, and all the children were given tools. And I remember painting a whale, and I'd seen the early medieval icons that were framed with a gold line. You've seen them. So I had my purple whale, and I framed it. I outlined it with a thick gold line. I think I was 5, and I thought it was so beautiful. I loved that whale. So, they're showing us the Pinky and Blue Boy. I remember seeing that. They march us around and look at the great paintings, often related to children, having children in them. which was smart. And then we would do our own painting. Okay. So for some reason, I did not continue to paint. Mother had me, this is a good parenting lesson, do these things. She had Robert and I, Robert and me, in a band, a local band, neighborhood band. I don't know what kind. I think there were like 4 or 5 of the kids, and we were all taking private lessons. And Robert was playing the drums. I was playing the. I liked the trombone. I was fascinated by the trombone for some reason. So that ended up me being always first trombone in high school, and then playing first trombone in the University of California Orchestra, and playing Schumann's Vierte Symphonie, Fourth Symphony. That was just one of the most wonderful experiences of my life. I also played with a Renaissance brass quartet. I learned I was a romantic. I love the romantic music. I'm not so crazy about Renaissance music. Okay, but I never, for some reason, I didn't continue painting. But there was something in me, okay? There was something in me, and it finally just exploded, okay? It resulted in me painting thousands of paintings. I gave away 500 paintings to my clients when I finished their injury cases. I'd give them a painting. It all started, I'm watching TV in 1990. The Berlin Wall hasn't fallen, but they're allowing East Germans to emigrate to West Germany via Budapest. And they're in a camp. They show East Germans in this camp. High barbed wire, high fences around it. So they allow them to live in this camp. They allow them to leave and come back. And these people eventually find themselves in West Germany. All right, so I'm watching television. I'm seeing these East Germans, and I see this beautiful young woman, blonde woman. And I fell hopelessly in love, okay? I'm sitting there on my couch, right? I said, I want that girl. I want to make her mine, okay? Mine, all mine. Okay, look, this is 1990, okay? So we're talking about 30 years ago. So I get on the next plane to Budapest. And this is before, they just opened up. These Hungary's become free, but they don't have tourism yet, and so there are no hotels. So you can't call up a hotel, And so I asked her. I had not thought about this, so I find myself in this airport, and I'm talking to somebody about where I can find a hotel, and she hooks me up with her friend who takes in, what was back then bed and breakfast, right? People, right? So they're happy to have me. And so I'm staying in this 4-room house. It's been converted into bed and breakfast. I remember taking a cab out to the encampment, of the East Germans, and there's a guard with a machine gun at the entrance, and the Germans coming in and out. And the guy says to me in German, "Do you live here?" And I said, which means "Wohnen Sie darin?" And of course I said without hesitation, "Jawohl." Of course, Germans, I don't think they say young old anymore. But that was enough for him. And he let me in. And then I thought, my God, am I going to be able to get out? I saw people leaving freely. I wasn't too apprehensive. So I looked, there's a million people there. And I realized in 15 minutes I was not going to find a girl. It's a fantasy. So I think that very night, I'm going to the bathroom, right? And I run into Ferdinand Derfler. I don't think he's online anymore. And he was a sculptor from Munich who was in Budapest on holiday with his girlfriend to celebrate the completion of a contract for the Bayerische Film, is it maybe the name of it? The Bavarian film company that made the never-ending story. So you look at that, you see he made the castle for this. I guess it was a cartoon. I never saw it. So he had graduated from the Conservatory of Music, and he was a professional oboist. He got occasional jobs in orchestras as an oboist, and he was always practicing his oboe. And so, we became immediately best friends. I mean, bang! Oh yeah, then he had graduated from a 6-year program at Art Institute as a sculptor. And again, we became, immediately best friends. I told you the medieval German folk story, a little saying about the two knights. So they're charging each other, with their lances down, and they get closer and they realize they look like each other. They rein in their horses, they jump off their horses, and they run and embrace. And in German, the motto is, like is attracted to like. I can't remember it. Like. I can't remember the German. I used to know it. So we were immediately best friends. Every night we were hanging out with his girlfriend and me. Why can't I remember her girlfriend's name? Okay, she graduated second in her class from Heidelberg, his girlfriend. And she was working as a dental assistant. All right. So he invites me to his studio. Come and stay in this castle that they were giving artist studios in this old castle. And, it'll come to me, a little village, 25 minutes out of Munich. And so I would fly there and hang out, and I started drawing. Yeah, I started drawing the countryside, and the sheep grazing, things like that. And I never had a desire to sculpt, but I had this vague desire to draw. And so I drew it, but I was a dilettante. I mean, I didn't catch fire like I did later. All right, so he starts flying with his girlfriend Irmgard. God bless you. Hi, Irmgard. I hope you're there. Okay, Irmgard and Ferdinand. Okay. And so he flies and stays with my wife and me. Once, the first time he came without Irmgard, he rented a motorcycle, drove all over Florida. I think he came twice. I had a reception for. I bought. The first time I went to Munich, and visited his studio. Right, so we were visiting every day with him, right? Watching him work. I bought all of his student work at the asking price, which was like $1,500, $1,200. Beautiful pieces of sculpture. I still have them. My kids have them in Tampa, in their homes. I think I bought like 7, 8 pieces of sculpture. So I think the second time he visited, we had beside the pool in the backyard behind the house, we had a pool house, and it was antique brick, beautiful big thing, and a pool table and so on. He converted this into a sculpture studio. And he started doing watercolor studies. And something really magical happened. I had this compulsion. I said, I want to do that too. And I started doing it. But that led me to buying art supplies, to buying brushes and canvases and paint, oil paint. I mean, I must have done this in another life. I had no interest in water paint. I had to do oil paint. And I discovered, well, it was like artesian well. I just became fanatical about painting. I was painting constantly. And I told you about how my best friend for like, over 30 years was Ken Perenni, the famous art forger. He's like a personality, he's like a celebrity. You can find him online. He gives brilliant lectures on his life. Okay, I helped him write Caveat Emptor. That's his memoir. It should be a bestseller. I want to promote that because as a history, okay, of Andy Warhol's Manhattan. Okay? He was a part of this scene. So I want you to read that as a history. It's just really entertaining and educational. All right, so I'm 50 years old now, right, when this happens. What's wrong with me? Then we know exactly, when all these things happen. Or we don't. This is like 2 years after I meet him. All right, so I asked Ken to teach me to paint. He said, I don't want any students. And he makes me his only student. And a really funny story about how every Sunday I would drive over there. He still lives in the same place. You'll see it in all his YouTubes. Yeah, so he gives me lessons. And the way he taught me is he used a Monet field of poplars, and it's sort of a lawn painting. It's got poplars, and it's got a field of poppies. Okay, so I'm standing on one little desk. Okay, and he's right next to me. Actually, I think there's a long table there. It's right next to me. And we're both doing the same thing, identical things. Right? We're starting from the beginning, and we're doing the same things together, right? And I'm watching him, I'm studying the painting, okay? And every 2-3 minutes, he would look at mine, and he would make a little motion. That's fast, okay? Now, when we got through, I couldn't tell mine from his. And I thought, geez, am I doing a great job? Then I tried to do it at home again, and it was a mess. It didn't look any well. So this went on for 10 Sundays we did this, and he just threw up his hands and said, you're really ham-handed, and you just got to work on it. And I did. I worked on it, and it turned out that I had something that's really very, very rare, and that's artistic feeling. Okay? I talked about this. Most people that paint, it seems like 99%, if not more, have a zero artistic feeling. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know what they're seeing. I don't know why they can't do something that has that demonstrates, some genuine artistic feeling. All right, let me get this Barbizon landscape I did. Just a second, I'll be right back. Back a little bit, I think. No. That's pretty much it. Okay, now I got it. Okay. Now, look at the colors and look at the clouds. Okay. That is inspired by George Inness's Hackensack Meadows. Favorite painters. Okay, in case I got that's inspired by George Inness's Hackensack Meadows, which is a huge painting, but my cloud bank is original. Okay, totally original, and I think that it expresses true artistic feeling. I think the painting is attractive enough that you could hang it in the Met, in the American Wing, and nobody would know that it was mine, rather than a Barbizon, 19th century American Barbizon painting. But that's what you want to find. You want to find artistic feeling, and you want to express it. Okay? Now, I believe that most painters they don't even have sensibility, artistic sensibility. That is, taste. They don't know what's good. They're trying to do something that's horrible, and they're succeeding. Okay, so I believe the first step is start haunting the art museums and fall in love with paintings. Certain paintings you'll fall in love with if you do this. You have a little bit of artists in you. You'll fall in love with them, and you will. So how did I get as good as I got here from not being able to do very simple paintings and being ham-handed? Well, how many years? What are we talking about? We're talking about 27 years, okay? Almost. So I want you to know what's good before you start painting. So then you'll know what you're doing is good or not. See? I want you to learn from the dead. See, that's what I do. I mean, this painting is a result of looking at innocence in the map, and looking at other great 19th century American landscapes. All right, so you start. I want you to start, and I was really bad at this. I don't know why. Start by drawing. That's how they always teach you to paint. Start by drawing. And just put aside, 45 minutes, hour every day, and draw. Okay. Here's a drawing. This is a Art Deco, the style of the Art Deco movie space. Then if you can find something original in you. I mean, it took me 2 decades to do this, but if you can find something original, good. But if you can't do anything original, it's purely original, then start. Well, I'll tell you how I got to the night. Oh no, that's one step ahead. My clients all want Picassos, so I love painting Picassos. I gave away, quite a few Picassos to my clients like this. But then it morphed into doing my own Picassos. Picasso himself said, I do not steal, I take what is mine. So I took what was mine out of Picasso's woman with green curls and Tech, Anton! Let's put up the original woman with green curls. Tech! God. Okay, Tech says he has it. He's going to put it up in a minute. So, before I started doing my own Picassos, I did his. Here's an example right here on the wall. Let me show you this. I love this. This is, going to bring it back, and this is really tricky. This is his reclining nude. He was a misogynist, and this is a caricature of women. This woman is sleeping with her mustache, with her rouge. She hasn't washed her rouge off, and she's sleeping with her rouge on. She has her peroxide blonde hair, and she loves her shiny, colorful satin pillows, and she's got a blue one, a purple one, a red one, and then she's sleeping, still holding her flower. Okay? So this is demonic. This is the demonic Picasso. I'm going to put this back here. Still waiting for. Are you going to be able to do that? I can't hear you. Are you going to be able to put that? All right, forget it. All right, so I'll just show you my. What happens now? I gave it to you. Did I give you that? So this, all right, you're going to have to just Google woman with green curls. It'll come right up. And it looks like a ceremonial mask. It's not lifelike, Picasso's. Okay? It's like some ritual, something from an ancient. That is that's what I've stolen. Okay? So that's that's a lifelike, more of a Okay. Tech, for some reason, cannot put up Picasso's woman with green curls, so you can just put it in Google, and it'll come up bang like that. Okay, so you can see what it looks like, and here is me stealing what is mine. See, that's more, the face is more human. So I did this a few times. Different versions of the faces, different faces. I did the same thing with Jawlensky's obstructive Kopf, abstract face. You know, we had a exhibit of like 30 of these Jawlensky faces at the Neue Galerie on Fifth Avenue, just north of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. There's the Austrian-German Museum. It has a great glimpse in it. So they had an exhibit. And I saw these faces, and I studied them. And I started doing my own faces. I had two successful, I think, original ones. This is the night. So, you know, remember when I told you about oil paint? You're not seeing an oil paint. You're seeing a reconstruction of the colors. With artificial colors. These are real pigments. I mean, the oil painting has a magic about it. You cannot replicate, you know, on a screen or in a book with inks. Okay, so now my final phase, and this is what I want you to. I'm doing this to illustrate what you can do. See, I have something. It's completely original to me. We're talking about modernist painting, and because I'm familiar with Klee and Joseph Albers and all of the German expressionists, and I'm familiar with. I'm sort of an amateur art historian. Oh, I want you to become one yourself. Become an art historian. I mean, the more you get into it, the more you enjoy it, appreciate it, the more meaningful it will be to you. So now I start painting original modernist paintings that are not like anyone else's. Remember I said, this is not great stuff, but a great work of art, all great works of art have two elements. One, originality. It doesn't look like anything else. Think of Paul Klee's twittering machine. Is that like anyone else? You know? That's true of all great works of art. Okay. Well, I think you can say that of my Cubist tropical birds. They're original. They're unique. So, you know, I'm really fascinated by color. I love juxtaposition of different colors. That is a Cubist tropical bird with egg and clouds. And it's the way I juxtapose colors that makes the painting work or not work. Then. This was everybody's favorite, the bluebird. Same elements, different color scheme. This is Cubist tropical bird with egg and clouds. Okay? And then I think they got more interesting with this. I got background there. Now, and this is Ken has given me his imprimatur on this. This is a larger format. This is my latest. I did this months ago. I haven't done any birds since, but this is my latest. And Ken thinks it has genuine artistic merit. He wants me to develop this theme. Okay. Now we have, and he was talking to work now. Now look at the outline. It's red now, and this is an egg. He was talking to bird with egg and bowl of turbulent water. So bring it in closer, you can see that the water is in fact turbulent. Yeah, see it swirling. Okay. So again, you've got to see the actual oil to really appreciate this. Now, so obviously nobody else has painted anything like this, or I would know. But the second element of every great painting is the inscrutable element of its magic. Every unit, every art, every great painting, or every painting period is a unit of psychic energy. See? And the difference between Paul Klee and you or me is the power of that psychic energy. Does it have the power to delight, enliven, and entertain? Okay? Does it appeal to our humanity? Is it art? Is it the real thing? See? So my last bird is certainly better than anything Damien Hirst ever did. So why am I not, famous? And why is Damien Hirst? That results from the phenomenon I call branding. Okay, you publicize that you sold a taxidermy shark in a glass case for so many million, and you sold a diamond-encrusted skull for so many million, and then you sold polka dots for so many, and then you're going to benefit from the Andy Warhol phenomenon of branding. See? You have a Damien Hirst on your wall, and you might as well have, a large sum of money on your wall. So Zombie Nation is very impressed by this conspicuous consumption. That's what makes people buy Andy Warhols. There's no inherent artistic merit in an Andy Warhol. I mean, it does not delight, enliven, and entertain. It does not appeal to our humanity. On the contrary, it appeals. It's sterile and perverse. It appeals to something sick in people. Pop art in general. I'm the first to point out that this represents the infantilization of art, and it's appealing to our inner child. Giant cheeseburger, giant balloon dog, okay? Scary shark in a cage, giant comic book pages, things that children like, big things, fun things, scary things. So it appeals to your inner child. That's what it does. I guess I don't have one anymore because it doesn't appeal to me. I can't imagine anybody. It's funny. Giant hamburger, cheeseburger, pardon me. Giant comic book pages. He's the best one. Comic book pages. That's the best. That's all right. This is as a philosopher of art, aesthete. say this much about what art must be, okay? To be art, to qualify as art. It must be interesting, okay? If it's not interesting, it's not art. T.S. Eliot said, if it's not new, it's not art. I'm saying, if it's not interesting, it's not art, okay? T.S. Eliot was interesting, extremely interesting, okay? So it's got to be interesting. Damien Hirst, hot dogs and hot dog animals, dogs made out of balloon dogs. I mean, not interesting. To children, yes, not to adults. Not to cultivated, sophisticats like me, okay? Or you, hopefully you're also a sophisticat. Okay? All right, so the reason I want you to paint, though, is therapeutic. You may not get to the level where everybody wants to put your paintings on their wall, or even you do, okay? But it's just wonderful therapy. I mean, I got to get back into it. I need it. I used to paint myself sleeping. Okay? Satisfaction from painting, and getting seeing yourself getting better, and you can actually reproduce some of these modern paintings and really capture their essences to the extent that you can. I'm looking, as I talk to you, I'm looking at The Open Window at Collioure by Matisse, which I painted for my own enjoyment. And no, I've seen the original in the Hirshhorn in Washington, D.C. The original is better, yeah, sure it's better. But my Open Window at Collioure, it packs a hell of a punch. Here, I'll show it to you. Back further here. The whole thing screen. Yeah, you can reproduce a lot of modern things, and for your own enjoyment, for your friends. I'm working on Robert Henri's New York City Winterscape. I think my drawing is off. I got a little carriage with a horse on the side there. It's pushed too far into one side. It's got to be brought out. I got to repaint that. My girlfriend wants it for her apartment. I've given probably 1,000 paintings, more than 1,000, to people who could never afford any kind of real oil painting. I've never walked into an American home and seen a great oil painting. I mean, oil painting has real merit. Most of them, the original oil paintings were really kitschy crap, worthless things. I've never seen I've never walked into somebody's home and seen a Cezanne or Robert Henri at Ashcan School or anything. It's extremely rare. These people don't have money. They don't have money. They're not rich. So you can give paintings away. Everyone you know. If you get good enough to look at paintings, which you can probably do. The final phase, my birds and my. Which are not based on anything. I didn't start with someone else's birds, that has to come from the unconscious mind. Where did the bird symbol come from? What does a bird mean? It came from my unconscious mind. But what does it mean? It's a symbol of freedom, flight. See? And this comes out of me, and I started, I thought I was drawing a horn, right? And then the horn turned into the bird's body, okay? I forgot to say it. I always forget the most important thing. I want you to go into a meditative trance when you're painting, to the extent that you allow the painting to take over the painting, take over the work. And an artist told me this years ago. He said, you let the painting paint itself, see? And that's what I do. I start with an idea about, I'm going to do a new bird, new colors. And then I get somewhere. I mean, believe me, when I started, what's a good one here? Yeah, when I outlined this, and then I probably did the outline in black, and I did the blue, and then the painting took over. And once I had the first draft, I'd look at it and say, no, it's got to go somewhere else. And then I just, but my unconscious mind would take me there. To tell me this is wrong. This is keep going, do this, do that. Okay, I want you to get to that state where your unconscious mind paints the painting for you. You've got to do that to really, appreciate the experience here and the psychotherapy. Okay, I mean, I feel good. I feel good when I finish something, or even when I'm doing it. I feel better than I did when I started, and it is therapeutic. Take my word for it. I mean, why do you think so many, millions of people? I mean, look at we support all these Blick, and I remember the old days of Pearls. I broke my heart when they closed down the Pearl and on Canal Street, in Soho. That was heartbreaking. Yeah, because I had for over 25 years, I had been going to Pearls. It's not actually. It was more like, don't ask me to do this. For decades, let's put it that way. Yeah. I mean, I'm going every couple of weeks, and then it's because it becomes part of your life. It makes me think of this, what the government has unnecessarily put us through, and how much it's taken away from our lives. God. I mean, everybody, you have your places, you have your habits that you enjoy, like going to Minetta Tavern on the weekend mornings, getting eggs Norwegian. I mean, and then you can't do these things. This really took a lot out of our lives, this experience. And what I want you to do to prevent it from taking anything out of your life and coming again, okay? What's the song? Hard times come again no more, okay? In order to prevent this, please build your immune system. Please do this. The instructions everywhere. Get fit. Before this happened, I was walking 5 to 10 miles a day. That's probably why I got badly infected. I was coughing terribly for 3 weeks. I've never been sick for 3 days in my life, I'm coughing. And this is back in February. It never occurred to me. And then later, in retrospect, I realized I'm going to get that test. I'm going to tell you what I found out. An antibody test. So I mean, I'm a target. I was, out here I was 77. And, see, this could have taken me out, but it didn't get any further than a chest cough with me. No, I never got fever. never threw up. I was pretty much a shut-in then. I was coughing too much. But I never had to sleep more. I remember sleeping normal 8 hours. So that's what I want you to be. See, I mean, we now know that maybe 40% were infected to some extent in New York City. I lived in the epicenter. So you got to be one of these 40%. That's 4 times 8, 3.2 million people that got it and didn't die. All right, that's what you got to be. Okay? So you can plan if it comes again, fine. You're going to be exposed to it. You might very well be infected, but you got to be ready. So if you're ready, you will survive it unscathed, as I have. Unscathed. Well, psychically unscathed, yes. It's a dreadful, horrible experience having someone take your life away from you. I'm preaching to the choir, I'm sure. So anyway, I want questions. I got a question from a guy named Tim Kowalski, only one question, about my critique of Jung as meaningless 19th century metaphysics, the collective psyche, collective unconscious, and his critique. I want his comment. I want to read it to you. I want to respond to it. I mean, I'm here to shed light. When I was immersing myself in the market and watching Market Watch every day and listening to all of the Nobel laureates, hedge fund operators being interviewed, and then all the guys got to talk about each other. And I used to say, when I was arguing against regressive analysis, which is very popular, very common among economists. You look at your charts and you look at what's happened in the past. We hit the double cross or whatever it was called. And I used to attack vehemently regressive analysis, and all of my comments, would start. I am the Hierophant. Hearken unto me. Okay? The guys love this. And the Hierophant's back. I was telling everybody in the Great Recession, buy. This is all going to come. There's not going to be any double dip. When there was a double dip, I was the only one saying there will be no double. Oh, listen, I called Dow 11,000 for 2011. That was when I was doing my immersion, okay? And I was the only one. I mean, Krugman and Rubini, nobody was calling, saying there would be no double dipper in recession, number one. Number two, Dow was going to hit 11,000 in 2011. It's 1 year late. That's all. 11,000. Now it's, it passes 26,000 on a good day. So I figured, listen, when that happened, I said, listen, you know more economics, you got a better feel for this than these Nobel laureates, okay? I explained why regressive analysis is absolutely meretricious, bogus crap. Never buy into that stuff. This has happened 10 times before. It's not going to happen again. See? Because too many factors have changed. It's a vast number of factors. Maybe thousands that are impacting, this event. You don't know which ones are impacting the event and not. Who would have dreamt that this rebound? I mean, I was ready to jump out the window. I was ready to commit Harry Canary. And my portfolio took a nosedive from hell. God almighty. Who would have predicted that right through this pandemic, the economy, the problems with the unemployment, blah, 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 going, I won't tell you how much it was down. It scarred me psychically, let's put it that way. I thought, I'll never recover from these psychic scars. God, And we all went through this, and only the strong survived. The weakling said, "Oh, I can't take it anymore. This is, I'm out of here." Well, if you did, I hope you didn't jump out the window, because this resurgence has been nobody would have predicted. I would have never predicted it. It's incredible. So it just shows you don't know what's going to happen. But see, if you look at, as Warren does, if you look at the Dow from its inception, how many years ago? 50 or so. I don't remember. Decades, many decades, over 50. You watch it, and its chart is like this. Its chart has been, steadily, with some, some dips, short-term dips, short-term plateaus. But these, if you look at the big picture, these are tiny. And it's just really just continuously. To go from, well, here's an example. The recession was a gigantic kick in the derriere, to the economy and to the Dow. The Dow was down to 6,000, like in 2009, and 2009, and here we are in 2020. Oh, that's 11 years ago. 11 years ago. We go from 6,000, to 26,000. 11 years, see? And Trump is going to win, and he's done for the United States what Adolf Hitler did for Germany. I'm only talking about the economy. The German economy. Hitler takes over, and the German economy, half of all tax revenues are used to keep people from starving to death. That's 1933. I'm sorry. Yeah, 1933. Okay. 3 years later, you have the Berlin Olympics, very glamorous affair. Riefenstahl, can't think of the first name, does the greatest documentary in history about it, which you got to watch, called Olympia. Hitler gets on is picked as Man of the Year by Time Magazine. I think it was 36 or 37. Okay. So they've returned to prosperity in 3 years. Okay. Now 3 years later, we're in 1939. Now, the German economy is the second most productive in the world, and the Germans are able to make war on the rest of the world for 6 long years. See? So, I don't want to see any of this. We've got nobody to make war against. What are we going to annex Mexico? Oh, no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. We can annex all of Latin America, this week. No thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. No. We don't want to do any of this. But the point is that Hitler instilled confidence in the future. And Trump did the same thing. And I'm isolating, say, that quality in Trump. I don't think he's like Hitler in any other respect at all. But he's a fabulous cheerleader. He's great at instilling confidence in the future, giving people confidence in the future. See? And of course, what he's done in his 3.5 years is absolutely phenomenal, Hitler-like vis-a-vis our economy. And so I want to see him do it for another 4.5 years. I hope you would too. I also want to see him bringing a stop to violence in the streets. I mean, I get on this, Tech put this app up for me, this domestic neighborhood, violence in the neighborhood. I'm afraid to walk out the door. I mean, somebody gets shot a block away this way. There's break-ins. It's just... Yeah. So that's got to stop. I've offered to take over the country. You know about that. You know my ideas. Hey, stranger things have happened. I think I can unify people, appeal to all races, creeds, religions. That I'm on everybody's side. I want everybody to love everybody else. Let's have a big love fest, okay? And let's get to work and let's focus. Let's focus on what we're doing, okay? I mean, you didn't see my early things. They were pretty atrocious. You saw how I painted a painting that I could put in the Met, in the American Wing, and nobody would dream that was not 19th century American barbizon painting. Okay, I did that. I have with a mustard seed of talent. That's the metaphor in the Old Testament for the smallest amount. Okay, I painted that with very little talent. More talent than Damien Hirst has, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, compared to Da Vinci or compared to Monet or compared to any of the great painters of this, I am a complete non-entity. But nevertheless, I was able to paint the Barbizon masterpiece from having a little bit of artistic feeling and for just working at something for decades. So you can do the same thing. I mean, hopefully much better than me. So start painting. Ask me questions. Send me your work. And let's rock and roll. Okay. I'll see you soon. Tech. I'm finished. Tech.